All right, folks, welcome to Evergreen Updates for December. Let's see what we've got. Before we go into this, is anybody here for the first time? I'm not going to make you tell us all about your favorite color and your cats, but it'd be good just to get a thumbs up if anyone's here for the first time. Okie dokie, so we've got a couple. Folks, you know what we do with the new people. You know, we go and react, and we give them a thumbs up. If you've got a brave HR, send them a love heart, give them a clap, give them a smile. So welcome the new folks in. Okay, let's talk to the new folks for a second. So here, welcome everybody who's new. Welcome, Joe. See you got your hand up. Folks, here's what we do. We have an update name, some key points, and we have the current release date, but we all know those slip, don't they? Maybe some supporting screenshots. Technical level is aimed at end users, super users, champions, and team site owners. We don't go near the admin stuff or we don't look at the Power Platform very much either. So it's not a deep dive. We don't have time. We've got about 2 minutes per slide. But what I would say is if you've got a question or an observation, it'd be great if you pop that in the chat. You know, whether if you think an update would be useful, or you like something, or you think it's terrible, or something that's going, you're going to miss it, please pop it in the chat because it'd be interesting because everyone can just like, we're all at different places, aren't we? Different organizations, different levels of knowledge. It'd be just great to share what you've got. All right, folks. So why don't we make a start? Any closing comments before we go, folks? Anybody got anything to add to what I've just said for the new people? Let's see who's popping over on page 3. So we've got Mandy, we've got Katrina, we've got Catherine, we've got Jill. So everyone who's just joined, welcome, folks. Okay, we've got updates for Copilot, OneDrive, Outlook, SharePoint, Teams, and a couple for around Microsoft 365. So remember, folks, make sure that you're on mute unless you're talking. The microphones are super sensitive, and I'd hate for anything that's confidential from your end to come over. But if you're the sort of person that likes to have your video on, it really helps me. And I know that you don't have to, of course, but it really helps me because when I look at the screen, it feels like I'm talking to somebody. I get some noddy heads, and that helps. So if you want to pop your camera on, that'd be great. But of course, you don't have to. Why don't we start with Copilot? So what's going on over here? So we've got Hey Copilot to start voice in Copilot on Windows devices. So with a couple of settings. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Jonica. A couple of settings, just like you can with your. I'm looking at my speaker now. I'm not going to say with your, depending on what sort of speaker you've got, you could say, hey, the wake word, and you've got other ones for other speakers. Say, hey, Copilot, and Copilot will just basically, the voice side of it will start up, and you can have a conversation with it. Now we're talking about the M365 Copilot app on your machine. So not in the browser, so you'd have to look for the app, then go into the settings, and there's a little slider in here. You're quite likely to get a permissions box afterwards asking you to give it permission, but that's fine if depending on what the machine is. It doesn't record or store your conversations, but it is quite useful. Now, I've already got it on one computer. I've got to be honest, I'm going to have to turn it off because I often have 4 computers in here, and if I'm working on another one and my microphone on the other one isn't busy, the amount of times in the last few days when I've been talking, I've been saying the C word, and then it starts talking back at me, and I'm on my standing up desk over there, and I'm talking about Copilot, and Copilot's just going, yes, that's right, that is useful, and we're having this conversation, and I'm like, I'm stuck on this call I'm presenting, so just be careful about that. But it's a great feature, but go and check it out. Now, if you don't want to use the wake word, then we've got this option as well. So you might have seen this slide before because this feature came out on mobile, and Microsoft have just kind of resurrected it because it's now coming out on the browser version of Copilot as well. So see this icon here? See it on my screen. So we've got that's coming along. So I've got it now. It just means that you can start a voice chat. You click on it. You might have to give it permission to access your microphone, and it just means that you can have a conversation with Copilot. I personally can speak a lot faster than I can type. In fact, this option here, just this microphone, I use this literally every day. Because that doesn't start a two-way conversation, but it just means that everything I say appears in the chat box. I personally like to speak to Copilot, but read its responses. So that mix there. Now, if you've got an accessibility or usability community where you work, or an able community, it might be worth you just having a look at that, seeing if it's available where you work, because I think that's going to be really, really popular. what else is going on. So search will soon include results from previous Copilot chats. So it might be that Julie's had a chat with Copilot and this really useful content came out. And now you're trying to, like, was that in a chat? Did Mark say it? Did Annie say it? Was it Copilot? Well, all those conversations are going to start getting added to your to your search results as well. So let's just get into this a little bit. So you know that if you go to the Copilot app, and I probably should have showed the screen before this screen. When you're in the chat in Copilot, you know, just above it on the left-hand side, you've got the option to search, and you can search in there. It's really useful. But a couple of things that you'll notice is the filters are going from across the top down to the right-hand side here, and you'll see an additional filter here. So I can now filter on M365 Copilot chats. So I can just click on Copilot chats and it will show me just those results. I know that the previous version of the filters across the top worked well, but this just seems to work. It's just nicer. I've had it for a few days now, and you can see this is one of my screenshots. So just having the filter down the side, but also your Copilot chats are now going to appear inside your search results. I think that is quite nice. New features coming to the free version of Copilot, so Copilot Chat for Outlook, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So some of the details are a little bit ambiguous, so I'm being a bit vague. I apologize. Often when Microsoft announce stuff, just sometimes you got to just wait and see, or maybe go and look at their website and read one of their knowledge bases that follow afterwards. But let's have a look at this. So Copilot Chat, the free version of Copilot, instead of looking at the email that you're on, or the email thread that you're looking at, it's going to be able to reason over or look at your whole inbox now. So and your calendar and your meetings. I think that is going to be a massive win for people who don't have a license yet. Agent mode in Excel and PowerPoint. Be able to use web data and reference files. So as well as being able to just look at the page that I'm looking at, I can now take it to reference files, and then the agents will, instead of chat sitting next to me, next to my document, and I'm just talking to it, it will be able to do stuff to the document that I've got, whether it's a PowerPoint, Excel, or Word. So that, folks, another quite a big difference for the free version of Copilot. I'm still convinced, you know, and I think I say a version of this every time. I'm still convinced that most of the day-to-day functionality of Copilot will get rolled into the free version. The paid version of Copilot. Those features will get just rolled into Microsoft 365, and maybe just the agents will be paid. I know Google did. Google have just rolled it all in. I'm convinced that will happen, and it just every month they seem to be moving features over to the free version. So, folks, okay for that. So early January to late March. But if you help your colleagues with Copilot, I think that would be quite good. Okay, I'm coming to the end now of this section. But just very quickly, does anybody use Copilot notebooks? And I'm interested. The reason I'm interested in this is because some people really struggle with what to use them for. So if anyone uses them, it'd be great to hear the 60-second overview of what you do with them. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm getting a shaky head from a couple of people. Okay, folks, so they're quite nice. It might be that Richard, you want to work on your outputs that come from Copilot, but you just want somewhere to put your stuff, but also you're really strict that you want to just have it pointing at certain resources, and you want just a little place to go and work. So your notebooks are a really good thing for that. So if you don't use notebooks, go and have a read about them. Now, what if you've got loads of content on there, and actually you've done all your research, and it's like, oh, I've lost track of all this stuff that I've done. Well, when you go to your notebooks, you're going to have an overview page that is going to roll up from all of the content that you've got, all of the resources that you've got. I think that's going to be quite nice if you are a notebook user, and if you're not a Copilot notebook user, then I reckon it's worth you checking out. I'm just going to quickly whiz through the pages, and I'm going to see which of our lovely colleagues aren't on mute, if I can find you. Folks, if you're not on mute, just take a second, because it comes over really, really clear. Okay, folks. Okay, so that's due December into the new year, and I think this is the last one. I think I've saved the best to last. Look at this. I love this. So imagine that, Katerina, you have a Katerina, you have a meeting with one of your colleagues every week, and as long as you have it every week, it kind of doesn't really matter when it is, right? So you can go into your meeting and you can say, if a conflict arises, let Copilot automatically reschedule it. And Katerina, you might be thinking, I don't want to let Copilot loose on my calendar. So you'll click on acceptable times. And now you can say, okay, for this meeting, these are the times of day, and the days which would work for me. You set that up, and then it will just automatically, if you accept something over that meeting, it'll automatically just reschedule that for you at a time that suits both of you. I love that for your meetings which aren't which don't have to do at a certain time, and they're just one-to-ones. I think that's brilliant. We have lots of those little meetings. Look out for that, folks. It's rolling out now, but should be here for everyone by the end of the month. I love that. Good question in the chat, and thank you, Sarah, for responding as well. Okay, the new Explore pane. I keep thinking we're coming to the end of the Copilot section, and there's another slide and another slide. A couple of things that I'm going to mention on this one. Now, there's a new Explore pane which is coming to Copilot. So we're going to see it in Create. I've talked about Create in a bit more detail previously, haven't I? It's going to come to Search. So that's the search lives up there in the top left-hand corner, and Notebooks. So I guess this is a nice way to wrap up. And what it's going to do, it's going to appear on the right-hand side and just ask you what you're trying to do and just help you out. Now, initially, this is for targeted release. So some of us at work, we get put on targeted release, so we see things slightly earlier than our colleagues. I know that means that this update doesn't apply to everybody just yet, but it gives me an opportunity to talk about targeted release. It might be, folks, that you look after your colleagues where you work, and it would be useful for you to see stuff just slightly before other people. If that applies to you, then maybe just ask the people who look after M365 where you work, can you go onto targeted release? They'll know what that means. You see things just slightly sooner. But I think that's going to be great because thinking about Search, Notebooks, Create, they're quite underused, those three. So I think it's great that I've targeted those three first of all. Okay. Updates to the memory and personalization have been pushed back a little bit, pushed back to January, but you can see here, so it's similar things that we're used to, but there are just a few little changes. So if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, if I just pop over into Copilot now, let me just zoom in just a fraction for you. I'm going to click on the three little dots in the top right-hand corner, and then I'm going to click on Settings, then click on Personalization. Oops, let me just expand this for you. Okay, so you can come into here and you can set your instructions. Here's some very basic ones. Always respond with UK English spellings, sentence case, prioritize reputable sources with well-known references, and don't use M-dashes. So one of the reasons that I'm dwelling on this a little bit is if you find yourself constantly correcting Copilot spelling, constantly telling it not to use I don't know, capital letters, so you wanted to use sentence case. Maybe you don't want it to put use emojis in its responses, the sort of things that sometimes we have to strip out. Well, instead of you having to do that every time, you could maybe go in, do your instructions, you list some instructions, and it will remember that, and it will get better and better. Anyway, that interface is changing. You can see mine already has. So if you look after training materials, that might be worth you updating. But it's also a really good opportunity. The things I love about the changes, it's a good opportunity to revisit it and tell people about that feature. We really are done with Copilot for now, folks. Anybody got any observations about that? Anything anyone particularly likes? Any questions or comments before we move along?
I did put it in the chat, but when it does that rescheduling, the moment Copilot doesn't seem to take time zones into consideration. So I work for a global company, so that has been my challenge. Would that include time zones?
Ionica, I've got to be honest, I straight up don't know. I'm thinking about, as you asked that question, I'm thinking back to the announcement. I would like to think it would, Ionica, but I don't. I'm not fully at what. So I don't think Copilot's meeting scheduling abilities are quite there yet. So You got to have a question mark over like that, like, and Veronica, and come back to it, and just maybe just test it when time comes.
Yeah.
So you're not. Oh, but don't forget, Veronica. Don't forget that you can tell it. You can tell it the times that would work for you. So the times that would work for you, maybe you take into account the other time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just hope it works for the other person as well. Maria
Yes, I
Constantine.
have a
Constantine, sorry.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. About the Hey Copilot,
Yeah.
do you have to have Copilot open in your device so it can open? Like for example, in my PC, if I have to have Copilot open for
Yeah.
it to hear Hey Copilot, or
Yeah.
will be automatically open in
Right.
the
So
task bar?
right. So I've not explicitly tested that, Maria, but the fact that mine just keeps going off when I'm on another computer, my guess is no. Right, but I'd have to explicitly check because it's a brand new feature, and I've used it a few times. But based on the fact that when I'm over there, it keeps waking up, I'm going to guess Maria. I'm going to guess no, Maria Constantina. But do you know what would be great? That question that Ioannika just asked, and what the rest that Maria Constantina just asked. If like we can't answer it because I don't even pretend to know everything, and a lot of these are brand new or aren't out yet, so I straight up can't answer them. If when we come to next month, you're like, that question that I asked, I know the answer now, then maybe just come off, because between us, like, because what makes these sort of sessions good, and think about the places where I run these type of sessions, it's not just the updates, is it? Because you can get information anywhere. It's the communities that build up. So make sure you come back, Ioannika and Maria Constantina. If you when you get it, have a little test, and maybe come back to the group next month. Okay. Why don't we see what's going on in OneDrive? So how are we with time? Slightly ahead. Okay, good. So you might have noticed this in your OneDrive. So when you go to create or upload, you've got this option here to create an agent, or when you select an item inside your OneDrive, you have the option again to create an agent. And what happens is this just means that you can create a Copilot agent grounded either just on your OneDrive or in certain content inside your OneDrive that you choose. And in the next screen here, we can give it a name, we can give it a purpose, and then we can go into the sources, the behavior. It's quite good fun actually going through this and building, and then you can create it. And if you want to, you can share it. Now, instantly, my thought is on this. I think about I've got a folder with lots and lots of evergreen type stuff in there, so it'd be useful for that. But the share with colleagues thing, it'd be interesting to know how useful that is, because every organisation I work with or support, they say you don't put work related stuff in your OneDrive. It's all it's all, so it's a bit it's interesting actually. I see it everywhere straight away. That's my thought. Although it might be that if you've got like a piece of work you do on the side that's not your core work, maybe that will be in your OneDrive. Anyway, regardless of whether or not it's a perfect fit for you, go and have a play with it. I think it's really interesting. If you've never created an agent, I think this would be a really great learning tool for you. Go into your OneDrive, create, upload an agent, and then just work through this. Look at the sources, which of your files or folders you want it to look at, what you want to ask, and there's lots of things you're learning there. So at the very least, folks, it'd be a really good, safe learning tool for you to create an agent, because you're not going to mess up anyone else's work or push anything out. It's just for you initially. Okie dokie. Look in the chat, folks. Martin asked a great question for the use cases for the Copilot notebooks. Definitely a conversation that comes up, because it's just difficult to get it to land, isn't it? I think the fact that you can now share them, I think that's going to make a big difference. Just one second, folks. I just need to close this window because some roadworks outside. I think I think the fact that you can now share them and collaborate on them, that's going to open up Copilot notebooks. Okay, so scheduled meetings directly in your Copilot chat. So you can, inside your Copilot chat, here's one for you, Ioannika, with your time zones. You can ask Copilot to schedule your meetings for you. So it'll find available times, book rooms for you, draft agendas, and send invites. Well, I've got to be honest, folks, I'm not sure if I trust Copilot enough just yet to do this piece of work for me, to go off and just do all this stuff. But of course, you can fine tune it and you can edit it. But look out for that. Due for all of us by the end of Jan. I can't wait to try that and just see how good it is. And Veronica, you can come back and see how it behaves with your time zones. Okay, some quick ones for mobile now. You're on Outlook on mobile. You've got the prepare button has been added to your. When you see your next meetings, you can quickly prepare. It might be that Annie, you rush into your next meeting and you're looking at your phone, and maybe you're a few minutes away. You can start preparing or look at it on there, or maybe you are going to join on your phone, and you've got that option as well. This one caught my eye. Because you know that in New Outlook, if you want it to behave, say, like Google, you have to go in and explicitly tell it to show your declined meetings. So remember that in New Outlook or Outlook Online, you can tell it to show your declined meetings. So they stay there just kind of grayed out, but you can just re-engage really easily if you want to. That must have been, and I don't know, help me out in the chat if anyone can. That must have been the default on mobile, because now you have to explicitly tell it to hide your declined meetings. I don't know why it would have opposite behavior. So a bit confused with that one. So if anyone can shed any light on that, please do. And now some hands-free functionality coming to your Outlook inbox with M365 Copilot voice catch-up. You can get it to just talk about your inbox and help you triage it and do stuff with it. I don't know how that's going to work, but look out for that in the new year, folks. Just if you spend a lot of time traveling, then maybe that would work for you. Folks, just some quick ones there for Outlook. Anyone got any questions, comments, or observations? Okie dokie. Maria?
Yeah,
Maria
sorry.
Constantina?
Regarding Copilot agent for OneDrive, when you
Yeah.
create a OneDrive, please do not use describe. There is a button in edit. You describe what you want, and you use AI to program your AI agent. And it's a little bit off. It may destroy everything you created because sometimes it doesn't understand what you mean. So it does it randomly. And that's how I lost the whole project and I had to redo it. And Copilot agent for OneDrive also works in SharePoint. You can create an agent inside SharePoint. But it's if you create that agent in one file, you have to create another agent for the other file. So either you do it for a bigger file with sub-files inside, but if you have only one file, small one, you don't have to do it.
Thank you, Maria Constantina. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, be careful. Be careful with getting it to do stuff for you that you've already started on, just in case, like Maria Constantina says, it overwrites something you've done or undoes something that you have done. And Maria Constantina is quite right. So that functionality that's come to your OneDrive, there's very similar functionality over in your in SharePoint for you to go and try. But if it gives you the heebie-jeebies and you haven't done one yet, I think the OneDrive is quite a nice, safe place for you to go and have a play of agents. Okay. Brace yourself, people. I think this is the best update of the whole session. Are you ready? I'm not getting any noddy heads, so I get a smile. That'll do. Okay, document libraries are getting a forms type experience for document collection. Okay, so let me just set the scene a little bit. So we have Microsoft Lists, and in Microsoft Lists, we collect information, and there's a button at the top in Lists here called Forms, and we can create a form, and we can have nice, instead of using the column names in our list that work for us, we can do nice friendly names for our colleagues, and we can put a description, and we can send this out, and people can fill it in. They have no access to our form or to our list, or where the list lives, but I can fill out the form and then the answers just keep flooding in and the responses come flooding in. We're now going to have this in our document libraries. So you can see this is the new document library for start. So it might look different. This is the new layout for document libraries that are coming. And we've got our library here, and we've said we want to create a form. So predictably, the main part is the where you put your documents. But look at all this. You can collect your metadata as well. So people can fill out the metadata that you require, and you can rename that on the form without upsetting your document library. You can put a description on there for them to make it really easy, and then you can send that off, and then people can fill it in. They've got no access to your document library. There's no permissions problems, but it will populate it will pull those documents in. I've spoken to this up to a few groups now, and it looks really popular. I was wondering, has anybody got a use for this? Anyone want to pop off mute and just give us 60 seconds of why this would work for you, or more than one person? Come on, folks, there's 53 people on this call. Somebody must be looking at that and thinking, I actually quite like the look of it.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Veronica, what would you do with this?
So we've got a lot of, you need to confirm that you've read something, and then you have to sign it, and you have to upload the document, confirm that you've completed training, you confirm. So this would be an HR wonder, I think, and then instead of us sending them an email, they're taking that document, saving it in the folder, whatever, send them the form link. After the training, they can sign it, put it up. That's just one. I think I can think of many. This is really nice. I love the lists one. This is great.
Yeah, I just this week I've created one for lists for quite a detailed government project, just to help streamline the communications. And one of the things that we do as well, Veronica, on that list is that we set up a rule that when something comes in fact, with that particular list, we have a little bit of Power Automate that looks at the so the person fills in the form, it comes into our list. Little Power Automate then looks at the list. It then nicely formats the person's responses and then pushes it into Microsoft Teams, so the team is aware that a response has come in, and that's where you then discuss it. So you're not then saying, "Oh, have you seen that list?" We've got a place to discuss it as well. So you can tie together. I often say that Microsoft 365 is like Lego. It's really simple pieces, and what makes the magic is putting them together in the right order. So I'm glad that you like that one. Philip, how about you?
Yeah, so we deal with a number of claims from our contractors on building contracts, and we need to hold a lot of documents that they provide for us to do with them. But obviously, we will have documents that are confidential to us in that. So we have to upload this stuff rather than letting them do it. Whereas this would really allow us to let them, because they have access to certain bits of our system, so it would make things a lot easier for us.
Yeah, and actually, imagine, Philip, you're part of a mixed team, and you've got your core team of civil servants who've got access to everything, and you've got members of the team or part of the team who are, say, contractors or suppliers, and they just can't see this bit here. It's just those are just the rules. But all of them could just fill in the form, Philip, like you described, fill their bit in, it just pops in, and you don't have to be that middle person uploading it, do you?
Yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Philip. And Katarina.
Yes, just another short example of where it could be used. We have a scientific library in our intranet where we upload articles connected to chemical substances that are used in our industry. So a lot of chemical contents, authors, businesses, all of that stuff. So there's a lot of metadata connected to this library. So I think that would be really useful.
Yeah, thank you, Katarina. Yeah, lots of uses. We could they could just be pouring out over the next maybe the next few weeks, couple of months at work. Just look at opportunities where you could use this. If anyone's got to upload a document for anybody else, you need to remember this feature. Okay, folks, let's move along. SharePoint's getting the news web part is getting a new see all experience. There's another one of those slides. I wish I'd done the previous screenshot as well. So when we have some of our pages have got news web parts that round up news for us, go off and find the news for us, and they've got somewhere like here. It would have like an all button or see all. When you click on it, at the moment it takes you to quite an ugly list of the news. This is the new interface, and look at it. It looks so much nicer, doesn't it? So it looks so much nicer. So you can see the stories here. You can interact with them, but also look at here, if this person has got a Copilot, listen to a news briefing. So it will create a briefing based on all the news stories that is rounded up based on there. What a great way of catching up with what's going on in your company. So think about Katerina's got loads of news in their area. They've got all these new stories about chemicals and chemical substances and stuff that you can do with those substances. And instead of you have to read each one, maybe get yourself a coffee, and then you could just listen to a news briefing and it will round all those up for you. I think that looks great. Okay, very quickly, the SharePoint web part for FAQs, which I thought was amazing, because only one person with a license needs to have it to create it. That's been put on hold. That whole web part has, and all the updates for it have been put on hold as well. So there must be big problems with this, because both of them have been shelved. Both of these features have been shelved with no date. They just said we'll come back to you when they're back out. Really sad about the top one. I think that looked like a great piece of functionality. Okay, so we're going to make up a couple of minutes by going straight through to Teams. You got any questions about what we just covered? Make sure you drop that in the chat. But let's go straight into Teams. Now, you know when you right click on the little Teams icon down in the taskbar down there, that thing is called the jump list. I didn't know that. I did my first IT exam in Windows NT 26 years ago, 25 years ago, and I never knew that thing is called the jump list. Anyway, look at this. It's getting some superpowers. So some of those things that you might recognize already because you might have used it for a while, very quickly you can go on. You can, without opening Teams, you can change your status. But look at this. It shows your next meetings. I really like the look of that. Right, well, Katrina, I wouldn't be surprised if 53 people knew it was called the jump list and I didn't, if I'm honest. But look at this. Schedule a meeting. It might be that I need to speak to Joannika about time zones, and instead of then opening my Teams, then going to and all that stuff I need to do, I can just open the jump list, schedule a meeting, or start a chat straight away. I love that. I think I've overlooked the jump list. It looks so useful and so quick. So next time you need to quickly send Katerina a message, make sure that you just right click on the Teams icon, pops up the jump list, click new chat, quickly send off a message. I love that bit of efficiency. Oops, when's that due? Oh, it's already arrived. Go and check that out. Okay, lots of us work with external people, and it's always good to just make it really clear that they are external. So maybe Philip at the top, Department of Education, is working with some suppliers, or maybe some of Darden are external, not the internal contractors, but external ones. And you know what? Just to prevent a slip of the tongue or a little bit of oversharing, these markers are really useful. You can see little grey markers. Now, they mean different things. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different six different meanings, and 3 versions of each one. I suppose that most of your users aren't going to remember all of them, but it might be worth you showing them this slide and just say, look, if there's a grey box with some kind of sign in it, there's an external person on the chat or in the meeting or in this team. So it might be worth you just spreading that just to make everyone aware, because it just helps just keep people out of trouble maybe. Okay. Including Teams channels in your context IQ prompts. So basically, you're prompting inside Copilot. We get the ability to reference channels. I love this. It might be that Katerina's doing some research. Katerina's going to regret talking about this, even volunteering now. Katerina just wants to say in the channel about the emerging substances channel. You just want to do some research and just see what's been happening there. From here, you can do a / name the channel, and just what's been happening in about the emerging substances over the last 3 months that I might have missed, or whatever, right? And then you can name channels. You can filter by channels. That's an interesting typo on the screenshot from Microsoft, isn't it? Anyway, that's been pushed back, but it should be coming out any time now. This update I've been talking about forever, the strength indicator. So you might be sitting there, and it might be that I get a bit glitchy. I know that I trip over my words all the time, but it might be that the signal's glitching out, and maybe Euronika's thinking, oh, is that my internet or is it Mark? And then Veronica's thinking, well, no one else has said anything, but actually Annie's sitting there thinking, is that mine or is it Mark's? Right. So instead of everyone wondering whose it is, it's going to show the strength of the strength of the signal that person's got. Now, this has been pushed back for nearly a year now, so I wonder whether there's a privacy issue. I think about like the Workers' Council of Germany and places like that. They're very very influential groups. It might be that they've gone back to Microsoft and said, you need to make this optional. You can't. People can't. If maybe for financial reasons they can't afford good internet. You don't want to be exposing that. So I hope it comes out, but it does suspiciously keeps getting pushed back all the time. And if you like collaborative annotation sessions, which is where you have like whiteboard over your Teams meeting, the things that you're showing, then people can start requesting that. That's been pushed back and should be here in January. Okie dokie. I'm just looking at the chat, folks. I love the chat is often as illuminating as the things that we cover, but definitely more amusing as a whole. Katrina's sharing some stuff in there. Mandy's talked about. Mandy, going back 25 years, I was a police officer and I was on a surveillance unit. I spent 2 years staring at people's houses and photographing activity. I'd sometimes spend 3 days, not even a postman. Right, and one of my colleagues was doing some IT exams, and I just started reading them, and that's how I got into IT, because it turns out I like computers more than the law. Okay, right, let's go see what's going on around Microsoft 365. Just a quick one. The declined access and the requesting access screens are getting refreshed. Microsoft say it makes it quicker to request access, it makes it clearer. It looks pretty similar to me, but you know what? It's just a bit nicer, a bit friendlier, isn't it? So just be aware that change is coming. Just in case, if anyone asks you, this change, did you know? At least you do. I'm not even sure if it's worth sharing with your team, but just be aware that that change is coming. Now, I'm going to slow down a little bit because this is another one of the highlights. So I think the document upload thing is probably. That's one of my favorites for this month, but this is up there as well. So I create a lot of presentations, and you always want them to look nice, don't you? You always want to be kind of interesting, and you want your images to be just right. Look at this new option here. So I've got this new edit picture coming, and so we've got AI erase, AI move. Excuse me, adding text. Edit text. Now, what I like about this is I'm not going to just slap some text on this where it says Pulp Fiction. I can change the text that's on the image. I'm actually going to change the text that's on there, and I don't need any special tools for that. I can do that right inside PowerPoint. The background removal. Now, of course, you can remove the background in PowerPoint now on a document, but it's a bit clunky, isn't it? I find myself remove a bit, add a bit, remove a bit, and I'll zoom in and remove a bit, add a bit, and it can be clunky, but you'll be able to AI remove them as well. Now, it's coming for everybody, but you might be familiar with the idea that people without a Copilot without a Copilot license get standard access. So if they're really busy, then you get kind of bumped off and you come back later. There are some usage limits, the amount of times you can do this, but for most people, I bet even the free version, having no license will be enough. But look at that, folks. I really like to look at that. Lots of new things coming to PowerPoint, and you're looking for this button, this new button, the Edit Picture button that is over on the left-hand side. I really like to look at that. Okay. Anybody created PowerPoint slide decks with Copilot? If you have, it'd be really great. Someone pop off mute, put your hands up if there's going to be a queue, and just tell us about how that experience went for you and how you feel about it. Just your overview of how you think that functionality is. Veronica, you hand went up first.
You tell it to create 5 slides, and it creates 5,000. There
you go.
It never keeps to what you want.
Oh, Veronica, that is a beautiful, mild exaggeration for effect there. But, yeah, you're right. There's definitely a problem with how many you get. How about you, Mandy?
I think it's the length of slides. There's too many slides, and also it kind of makes up some words that you know, aren't necessarily part of what I was asking it to do. That sort of Copilot fantasy bit that it has.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good first pass, but it's not quite there, is it yet? Maria Constantina, how about you?
It does either too much or too little. And if I asked for something specific, it does not give it to me. Even if I give him like a template to go with the template, it still does not do that. Or I ask him for specific colors with the color code, still doesn't take it. Uses its own colors, whatever. Auto animations. I didn't ask for animations, but you have animations and you cannot remove them.
Yeah, folks, Maria Constantina is not a big fan at the moment. I think there's some ideas here that Maria Constantina can put in for improvements. But thank you, Maria Constantina. You're right. Everything's right, by the way. Katerina, last one.
Yes, I always get too long, I think, PowerPoint presentations, and I would like to reduce all the middle slides with just one word or two words on them. Just make it more simple and short.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So if we go back to what Maria Constantina said, remember, folks, when you create a slide now, you can use the templates your organization has got, and if that's not set up, speak to somebody in branding that has got access to SharePoint, and they'll set that up for you. So you can use your own branding now. That's made such a difference. It's so much better choosing your own templates. But let's have a look at this. The big one is a number, isn't it? It just goes nuts, doesn't it? Look at this. You can tell it. You can tell it how many slides you want. You can set the tone. I think that looks quite nice as well. And in the style, if you're going to use AI images, you can set the style. Okay, so it gets better all the time. I'm sure Microsoft aren't even vaguely oblivious to the fact that it's got a long way to go, but it's getting better. It gets better all the time. If you've been coming to these sessions for a few months, you'll know that almost every month we talk about an improvement with Copilot and PowerPoint. But anyway, look out for that, folks. I think that is quite a nice change. Now, Excel. So you might know that when you go to Excel, on the ribbon, you've got this button here, the Copilot button, and if you chat, Copilot is in the pane, is chatting to you on the side, and the app skills is what you select. If you wanted to do stuff, if you wanted to use some skills on your app, which in this case is Excel, and you have to do that. Anyway, just let you know that that's been retired. This is probably an important point for you to remember for your users, guys, if you support your colleagues. So that's been retired in the new year in favor of agent mode. Okay, so agent mode, so the functionality, it just looks nice. It's less clunky, isn't it? Look at that, like the fact that it was on the ribbon, it's just felt clunky, didn't it? And I think this is going to be way more intuitive. So we've got the options here. We can say we want to use agent mode. So you're telling it, I'm not chatting to you. I want you to do some work on the thing. Okay, so I think that looks great. It's going to be in that slider, and then you can tell it to work on there. So definitely worth you looking out for both of those, folks. Looking at the dates, it looks like there might be an overlap, but make sure that your colleagues know about that. Okay, starting to wrap up now. In Microsoft Word, you've got Copilot, the section at the top that gives you a snapshot and information about your Word document is super useful. Okay, and it's now going to give you even more document statistics. I should have put a screenshot there, really, but look out for that, folks. That should be out any day now. That should be out any day now. So next time you're opening a Word document, just have a look at the top and just see what's changed up there. Referencing a PDF document when creating a slide in PowerPoint, that's been cancelled. And referencing an Excel file when using Copilot to create PowerPoint slides, that's been cancelled as well. A lot of cancellations, aren't there? And I often say this, in the last year, no, maybe the last 9 months, I've seen more cancellations and more features go in than I have in the last 3 years. Obviously, the purse strings are tight. Money's tight over at Microsoft, and they're cutting back on all these little features. Really surprised by those last two. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe, but I am really surprised. That last one there, that third one, referencing an Excel slide, an Excel file to create PowerPoint slides. I can imagine that's quite a technically difficult thing to do. So maybe they just put that on hold for now. Okie dokie, folks. Do you know what I'd really like to know? I would like to know which of the updates that we have looked at today is your favorite. So if we just kick off that, can someone give me a thumbs up when you can see the options? Okie dokie, thank you. So just while that's going, just while you're answering that, and don't drop off. I've got another question for you in a second as well. Don't you be leaving early. Okay, so while you're doing that, just want to let you know about this. So I always make this silly joke, like a free webinar wouldn't be a free webinar without a plug for something at the end, would it? So remember, folks, that that we're a Jumpstart partner, and we can access funding on your behalf, and it really is as good as it looks on the slide. We can access your eligibility. On a previous call, Emma was explaining that we use that there's an agent that helps us work out eligibility. So if your organisation, if you've got more than 500 licenses, we can see whether you can get funding, and we can help you with your engagement, and Microsoft will work with on the funding. Okie dokie, let's see what's popular. I'm just going to look at this over screen. So Copilot resolving conflicts in your email, 15%. And by far, our most popular one is the document libraries get a forms experience to upload your documents. Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case as well. Okie dokie. So, folks, we have come to the end of our time together. I'm just about to do the next 6 months worth of dates. So look out for that, folks. We'll make sure you get invited for those, and then just sign up. Just sign up for all of them. Remember, you have to do each one individually. But anybody got any questions or comments or closing comments? Anything lighthearted? Anyone got any other Panto horror stories to share before we go? Anything else, folks? In that case, I'm going to thank you for coming to this session. I really, you can probably tell how much I enjoy these sessions, and I'll do this type of session. Chris said, "No, don't." Look at the chat, folks. Pantos are so silly, but they're so much fun, aren't they? So, folks, you can get these updates anywhere, but you can probably tell, like here, and then the other government departments that are doing this. I love doing these sessions, and it's not because I like talking about the latest feature in Copilot. It's the community. It's the people join these sessions. People enjoy engaging in the chat, and it's just the people. I absolutely love these sessions. So regardless of whether you get something out of these, I'm really grateful to you because you come along. I really genuinely enjoy them. But, folks, whatever you do at Christmas, whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't celebrate Christmas, whether it's just time off for you, whether it's really meaningful for you, for your family or religion, whatever it means to you, I hope you have a great Christmas time, and we look forward to seeing you all in the new year. But we're done, folks. Thank you very much.